Welcome to Midnight Signal AI. Today is March 6th, 2026. We're your hosts, Alex and Jamie, bringing you the most important developments in artificial intelligence from the last 24 hours. On today's episode, new proposals for AI governance, open-source autonomous operator systems, a wave of tools for AI agent orchestration, and the ongoing debate over whether AI is actually making our work lives better or just busier. Plus, a legal clash at an AI startup, and a glimpse at the future of real-time AI coding dashboards. Let's dive right in. Our lead story comes from Hacker News, where a new proposal called the Capability Tiered AI Governance Architecture, or CEGP, has been posted on GitHub. This framework suggests regulating AI systems based on their demonstrated capabilities, rather than just their model size or who built them. The idea is to create governance tiers that map to actual risk, with requirements ramping up as AI systems become more powerful. It's an open-source, community-driven approach, and the full architecture is up for review.
That's a big deal, because most current regulations are still stuck on old thresholds, like parameters or compute hours, instead of what the system can actually do. A capability-based model could be much more adaptive, especially as open-source models catch up with the big labs. But it's also a governance nightmare, figuring out who tests these capabilities and how you stop developers from just hiding dangerous features.
Exactly, and this proposal is pretty ambitious about transparency and third-party audits, but as usual, enforcement is the tricky part. Still, it's a sign of the field maturing. Governance is getting more granular. The discussion is just starting, so if you're interested, the repo is open for comments and contributions.
We've seen a wave of similar discussions lately, especially as people realize that model weights and API keys aren't enough to draw regulatory lines. It's messy, but these sorts of frameworks could end up shaping actual policy, especially as governments look for something more practical than blanket bans.
Speaking of open systems, let's look at some of the new tools for autonomous AI agents popping up this week. First, also from Hacker News, is OculOS, a fully open-source operating system for running a startup with 14 AI agents. Each agent takes on a specialized business role, from CEO to CTO, and the system is designed to run autonomously, only escalating blockers to humans via Telegram. The repo is live, and they claim the system has already built its own landing page, Docker stack, and docs.
That's wild. So it's basically a company that runs itself? The fact that these agents can hand off tasks, produce artifacts, and even handle deployments puts some real teeth behind the autonomous org idea. But I wonder how much oversight it requires in practice. Even with escalation, you'd need to watch for drift, compliance issues, or just plain weird decisions from your AI CFO.
For sure, and the architecture is really opinionated. Everything runs in cycles, with a consensus file passed baton style between agents. It's fascinating to see open-source projects actually operationalizing these ideas, not just theorizing. If this scales, it could change how small teams or even solo founders think about building companies.
It also highlights a broader trend, the rise of agent orchestration tools. Another new one is PlateSpinner, which lets you manage AI coding agents via a Kanban-style board. You describe what you want, and the system spawns sessions of models like Claude Code or Gemini to generate, plan, and execute tasks in your project directory. There's even an auto-clicker mode, so you can sit back and watch the AI decide what to do next.
It basically turns project management into a hands-off process for code generation. That's both exciting and honestly a bit unnerving. If these tools become mainstream, it could really reshape the role of human developers. Project managers might become more like supervisors of AI labor, rather than direct contributors.
And speaking of giving agents more control, there's OculOS, a REST-based daemon that exposes your desktop's UI elements as a JSON API. Instead of relying on fragile pixel coordinates, AI agents can now interact semantically with your apps, like actually clicking a play button by name, not by screen location. That's a huge leap for automation and accessibility.
Definitely. It means agents could reliably automate workflows across different operating systems and app updates, which is always a pain point for RPA and bot developers. The move towards semantic interfaces could be a game changer for AI-driven automation. Switching gears, let's talk about the surge in runtime security and observability tools for AI agents. OculOS Security just launched a platform for policy enforcement and monitoring of AI coding agents.
It's aimed at organizations using local LLMs like Claude Code or Codex, letting them see what agents are running, enforce controls, and audit activity. This is a critical layer as more companies deploy autonomous agents on sensitive infrastructure.
Absolutely. There's a real risk if rogue agents start doing things they're not supposed to, especially when you have multiple models working in parallel. Monitoring, fine-grained policies, and audit trails are going to be essential, both for security and compliance. It's another sign that the AI coding stack is professionalizing fast.
On a related note, Hydra is a new macOS dashboard for developers running local AI agents. It goes beyond Activity Monitor to track which models are running, their resource use, codebase health, and even network activity. There's also a built-in scanner for security posture and a feature that generates AI briefings on system status. It's all about giving developers more visibility as these agent stacks get more complex.
That's huge for productivity and troubleshooting. If you're running multiple agents, it's easy to lose track of what's eating up RAM or thrashing your disk. Integrated dashboards like Hydra could become must-haves for dev teams, especially as agent-based workflows become the norm.
Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the big picture. The Financial Times ran a piece this week asking, what if AI just makes us work harder? There's growing evidence that instead of freeing us up, AI tools often raise expectations, push more tasks onto workers, and lead to new forms of burnout. It's a real tension. AI promises efficiency, but the reality is often way messier.
That's the paradox, isn't it? We're told AI will automate away drudgery, but instead it sometimes amplifies pressure. You're expected to do more, respond faster, and manage an ever-growing pile of microtasks, all because the tools are supposed to make you superhuman. It's a reminder that tech adoption isn't just about capability, it's about culture and management too.
And as more companies adopt AI, we're starting to see pushback. There's a discussion thread on Hacker News asking if any companies are actively anti-AI. Some developers feel pressured to use these tools, even when it causes burnout or degrades code quality. Plus, the environmental cost of running large models is coming into sharper focus, with concerns over electricity and water use.
It's not just about productivity. There's a real reckoning coming over the social and environmental trade-offs. We need more honest conversations about when AI is actually helping and when it's just shifting burdens around. Otherwise, we risk repeating the mistakes of past tech booms, just at a bigger scale.
Now for a quick legal drama. Ars Technica reports that an AI startup is suing its former CEO, alleging he took 41 gigabytes of company email and lied on his resume. The suit claims the ex-CEO improperly downloaded sensitive information and misrepresented his credentials. It's a reminder that as AI startups scale fast, governance and background checks still matter, maybe more than ever.
Right. And as these companies grow, they're handling more sensitive data, customer info, model weights, proprietary research. IP theft and bad actors aren't going away just because the company's AI first. Founders and investors need to remember the basics. Trust, but verify.
Finally, let's touch on the technical side. Mozilla's AI blog has a deep dive on 3W for in-browser AI. That's WebLLM, WASM, and web workers. The post explores how large language models can now run directly in your browser, powered by modern web technologies. This opens up privacy-friendly, local AI experiences for users and could help shift some workloads away from cloud APIs.
Running LLMs in browser is a huge step for user control and privacy. No more sending your data to someone else's server, at least for some use cases. But it also raises new challenges around performance, device compatibility, and model updates. Still, it's a glimpse at a post-cloud AI future, with more power at the edge.
That's it for today's episode of Midnight Signal AI. From new governance frameworks to the realities of AI-driven work, the landscape is shifting fast, and the tools just keep coming. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and analysis. Stay sharp. The future doesn't wait.